spending money like I just got paid. $100 bills, tell them keep the change. Come on. Pop a bottle, about to make it rain. Let me give you something now to celebrate. Come on. And if you're wondering why I move the way I do, I just feel so good, good, good. Oh, I just feel so good, good.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to another video. I hope you are all safe and well. Today I'm going to be filming another full day of eating and training, but my brother is going to be involved with the training side of things. So for those of you that might not know, I'm currently training to try and be the first person on the planet, as far as we are aware, to squat 500 pounds and run a 5-minute mile in the same day. I'm looking to do this around end of July, start of August, because any longer than that, it would start to eat into my time to prep for Movember this year. So a bit of a balancing act, but all part of the fun. Jamie, he is also training to be the second person on the planet after Hunter Macintyre, who's a CrossFit Games athlete and sort of just all-round athletic freak, to deadlift 500 pounds and run a 5-minute mile in the same day. So our sessions are quite similar today, although his is deadlift focused, mine is squat focused. But we're going to head to the track this evening. It is 6:15 this morning. We're going to grab ourselves some coffee. I'm going to have Nature Valley Bar just to get something in my stomach before we start training. And then I will take you through our training session throughout the food that I eat today and see you at the track this evening. If you do enjoy the video at any stage, please do make sure you give it a like. And if you are new to the channel, please make sure that you are subscribed down below. If you have any questions or queries about anything at any stage, do just drop it in the comments and I'll be sure to get back to you. So let's get caffeinated up. And I'll have my first bit of food today, which is going to be, just so you can see that I'm having it, this Nature Valley Bar. So, see you in the gym. I should also mention that my approach to nutrition has changed a little bit in the past couple of weeks, as I'm trying to lean down to lose a little bit of body weight to run as fast a mile as I can, as well as being as lean as possible before I start prepping for Movember. So my baseline calories at the moment is 2,400. I will eat back whatever I burn on top of that, but that is my baseline, a bit lower than I'm used to, and 400 less than the last 2 full days of eating videos that I've put up. So just thought I'd make you aware. And that's how I'll be approaching nutrition today. So you can see for yourselves. So my session today, I have low bar back squats, I think 190, 2 sets of 5, 170, 2 sets of 6. RDLs, some broad jumps, and then a steady cool down run to finish. Jamie, what have you got?
Working up to 220 deadlift, then pulse front squats, the 105 for 6s, then RDLs for 10s, and then upper back stuff and a bit of pump stuff at the end. And then tonight I've got some sprints,
which I'll be joining him for. So I've been programming Jamie to try and deadlift 500 pounds and run a 5-minute mile on the same day. We're about 8 weeks into the process. Today's a big day actually, because he's got a mile test at the track this evening. I've just got 3 6x500 meters, which isn't nearly as exciting, but we'll get through this session now, this morning, eat up throughout the day, and then get to the track tonight.
All my life I've barely spoken. Your words have been so broken. I've been under your hypnosis.
This is the first time we're going to have this issue, so we're actually going to have to chop and change weights in between our sets, because Jamie's working up to 220, which uses, is that all the plates? Yeah, all the plates that we've got, and I've got 190, so this is going to be a bit of a pain in the arse, but we didn't see this one coming when we set this gym up a couple of years ago, so every day's a school day, eh? Alright, so we're going to jump in here and chat you through training rather than doing as we go, because this video is getting quite girthy. So I started off feeling pretty solid in my warm-ups. My hips felt good, which they haven't the past couple of weeks, so that was refreshing. However, you felt terrible.
yeah, truly awful I'd say.
Fatigue's built up, so we're basically, Jamie had a deload scheduled next week, but it seems like the fatigue's caught up with him this week. So all we did was taper him back down to a couple singles at 180, as you can see there, rather than his top set of 210 for 2x2. I had 190 2x5 and then 170 2x6. But you're working up here. I've actually spoken ahead of my time, but this is your top set of 200. It turned out to be, didn't it? And this felt much worse than it has done in previous weeks.
Yeah, I mean, how many weeks was it? 4 when I got 205? Yeah, I mean, 4 weeks ago I got 205, which was...
It was just speed off the 4 though, which just shows you fatigue.
Yeah, but I mean, looking back, the week before I got 200, so 2 weeks before I got 205, I did 190 for 2x2, and they felt awful as well, so it just shows actually that with a bit of a structured deload, then feeling fresh can have quite a big impact.
Can indeed. So that's my set 5 there at 190, pretty happy with how it moved. Just still adjusting a little bit to low bar. Feels so much better in flats though, so I'm glad I've made that decision there. But it does mean that my posterior chain takes a bit more of a hammering. So after that set of 200, we dropped you down just to 2 singles at 180. And they moved okay, but I mean the second one was slow as well, wasn't it? Which again just shows how fried. Oh dear, that's how miserable you were. Yeah, my sets of 170 moved really well, was happy with them, starting to feel really solid, on rack on the bars, feeling a lot lighter than it has been, my upper back strength is coming back a little bit. Elbows are taking a bit of a hit from adjusting back to low bar, but nothing too drastic. And yeah, these moved well. I think it's just, it's the forward lean of low bar that's building up a bit more fatigue than I'm used to with high bar, but ultimately that's just part and parcel of the training. So what did you have to have after this? You just had pump stuff and that?
Yeah, I mean, I was meant to have, so I did the pause front squat, so
I had 3x12 RDLs then at 120.
Yeah, so I did, what was it, 2 sets of 6? Yeah, so 2 sets of 6 pause fronts, which felt quite good to be fair. It seems like all the fatigue sort of in my lower back rather than my legs. So 2x6 pause fronts at 100, as you can see there, and then was meant to have RDLs but didn't do them, and then just did some upper back stuff. Yeah, it was sort of similar to what I do every session, but obviously not quite as efficient.
So this is basically worked out as an early deload for him because we're about 8 to 10 weeks into this training cycle to try and get him to a 5-minute mile and 500-pound deadlift. So focus has basically just been posterior chain, developing the movement with deadlift, keeping upper back strong and staying injury free. So all of our Mondays for the past 8 weeks have been lower body and sprints. I then finished with 20 broad jumps, straight into a run, as I'll tell you here. 20 of them. I've got a 2-mile run to finish, but that's me for the morning. Sprints this evening. Alright, training done, and guess what? I'm having the same breakfast that I have pretty much every morning. 2 scoops of awesome supplements, vanilla whey, 100 grams of oats, frozen raspberries and a bit of sweetener. That is session number 1 of the day done with Jamie. We're heading to the track this evening. Going to eat this, and then I will take you through the rest of the day eating wise. Important to note as well that this is a working day rather than the weekend, so I probably won't be as exciting with my food and it'll be a bit more structured, but a bit more of an accurate representation of how I actually eat during the week. Alright, so it is 20 to 12. I've been up here at my desk working away for the past couple of hours and I've got myself a little snack to see me through to lunchtime. So we have 450 grams of Greek yogurt with 20 grams of low calorie hot chocolate, some sweetener and some frozen raspberries. So it's basically chocolate yogurt with frozen raspberries. Very exciting, I know. And whilst this may seem like quite a lot of yogurt, I think I might go out on a limb and say that I could be potentially the least lactose intolerant person on the planet, as I have this really quite frequently. It's a good protein hit early on in the day, which means that I don't need to focus quite as much on protein for the rest of my meals throughout, which just makes things a little bit easier. But I'm going to eat this, get back to work until about 1:30, and then catch you at lunchtime. Okay, so got this big boy of a burger here. Got a bagel with lean beef mince, avocados with tomatoes, bit of mayonnaise, some sriracha sauce, some lettuce, some cucumber, some cherry tomatoes in there, roasted pepper with some light cheddar cheese as well. Calories and macros will be on the screen somewhere. Lots of hand movements going on here. I forgot to mention earlier that as with all other previous days of eating, I will be eating back any calories that I burnt from any aerobic exercise to the tune of 0.85 of the total figure given by my Garmin. That figure, there isn't any real scientific evidence behind it, it's just a figure that I use to account for any margin of error that might come from Garmin's calculations. I'd rather be on the underside than the sort of overside of their predictions. And some of the calories that will be accounted for in the total figure given at the end of any exercise will be calories that you would have burnt anyway. So it's only really the active calories that you should be considering when you're eating back the calories that you've burnt from any endurance exercise. So if you're trying to balance strength and endurance, that's something to consider. If you want any more information on that, you are best heading to my first full day of eating video as I go into more detail on it then. So I'm going to figure out a way to eat this. Oh God, bad start. And then head back upstairs because I've got quite a lot of work to do this afternoon. This is going to be messy. Just gonna have one of these as well because I'm craving something sweet and I have sprints later after all, so you know I've got to keep my blood sugars nice and stable, nice and high. See you soon. Alright, so 6:20 and I'm going to get packed up and ready to head across to the track with Jamie. Before I go, I'm going to have another Nature Valley bar. A bit strange having 2 in a day, but it's sort of the only grab and go carbs that we have in the house, and I do want something in my stomach and a little bit more fuel before we get going. So I will see you at the track. Okay, we are at the track, but I'm conscious that this video is getting quite long, so we're just going to get right into it. Jamie's got a mile test first up, and then I've got my session, so we're going to film the whole thing and chat you through it as we go. All right, so Jamie's mile. This was better than expected, especially given your deadlift performance this morning, but this is very encouraging given how close you actually probably are now to being able to do this. I think what's going to happen is I've got testing on Monday the 29th, I think it is. So I'm going to do like a conservative 220 kilo single in the morning and then test my mile in the evening. Drone footage isn't great here at points from me. Apologies. Yours wasn't great at points either, but we're learning. So yeah, next Monday sort of to see how I get on, and then we're going to try and set a date where we can both go for it at the same time, which will be fun. But you looked pretty solid the whole way around here, which was a bit disconcerting. So how did it feel?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I was pretty pissed off after the morning session. So, I mean, in the last few weeks I've been pretty confident that I was going to get it because my runnings felt really good. But yeah, I mean, I think you thought I wasn't going to get it, did you? You guessed about 5'10".
Well, I thought it, based off how bad your deadlifts moved, I thought it'd be fatigue slowing you down. So yeah. In my mind, if you'd got 5'10", once you'd recovered from that fatigue, you would have had 5 minutes in you. But now it's quite concerning that he's probably capable of 4:45 or something, yeah, given the amount of fatigue. I mean, you saw how badly that 200 kilo, well, it didn't move that badly, but how slow the 200 kilos moved this morning, which indicates that there's a whole load of fatigue built up from 8 weeks of training without a deload, and your chickens have come home to roost, as it were, and then you've pulled this out the bag. So he's in Vaporflies though, so he's basically cheating, but it's encouraging. Put it that way. I mean, what's this? You're what, 600, 700 meters in here? You first split, you went,
so yeah,
116?
No, 114, 113, 116, and then the last one was 111, 112, whatever that adds up to.
So poor pacing.
Yeah, I mean, I think because I sort of had in my mind that I wasn't going to get it, I didn't want to go out too hard, but then with hindsight, I mean, I didn't feel amazing when I finished, but I definitely didn't feel as bad as I thought I was going to. So I think if I could have kicked probably 100 metres earlier, then, as you said, I probably could have got less than what I actually did, which would have been
pacing it takes a lot of practice, actually, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And you'll be much better off on the day that you actually go for it with this in the bank.
Yeah.
And I'll be the same next Monday once I've actually got a feel for how grim I feel at 800 metres and whether I get some time in the bank beforehand and then negative split it, or get time in the bank beforehand and then slow down because the fatigue's built up. I don't know. I think that's what I've always done in 5 and 10Ks, because I know that no matter how hard I hit the wall, I'll still give it everything I've got to get to the finish. but ultimately if I've spent all my energy early doors, then I'm not going to actually have enough to see me over the line in the time that I want. So I think the first 50% of any race, whatever distance, my logic is if you can get some time in the bank, then you've got a little bit more wiggle room to play with when you get to the end. But yeah, I mean, when I was doing my 400s on, I'll talk about it when it comes to my turn, but when I was doing my 400s, I couldn't comprehend doing 3 more of them, sort of at full pace, which is just grim. But we both have probably underutilised a proper warm-up the past couple of weeks for the higher intensity stuff, because obviously it's much more taxing physically. And you did a 15-20 minute higher intensity.
Yeah, I mean, I just did, what I did, two very steady laps, and then 1 lap with a few strides in it, sort of sprinting the straights and jogging the bends, that sort of thing, and then just a few dynamic stretches, which is something that I've never really done, because I always do my run straight after lifting. So I always go in with the mentality that I'm actually warmed up when really my heart rate hasn't spiked at all. So the shock of going from quite a low heart rate straight into high intensity running is obviously a bit of a change to the system. So I think we both sort of wanted to essentially utilise what is a very well researched,
well controlled concept bit there as well. I think it's probably important at this point to mention as well that Jamie is a cricketer, which is probably one of the least consistently fit sports in the world. No offence, cricketers out there, but it's much more skill dominant than it is fitness dominant. So him being able to do this alongside cricket is really annoying for me, to be honest, but we'll move past that. Coming to the end here, I looked at the drone at this point and couldn't remember when I started filming, but I saw 5:17 on like the recording time, so I didn't think he had it in him. But here we go. Coming to the end, you can hear how he gets on and feels.
4:57. What?
He's gone sub 5, 4:57. I can't believe that. Oh, if only a deadlift wasn't so shite.
Oh.
Well, so that's the mile done. First time I've actually done anything on a track, and mission success, because 4:55, fastest mile, and to be honest, I was expecting to be in a much worse state than that. So yeah, I think that's really positive, because with a bit more training and less fatigue on my deadlift, then I think I'm definitely in a good position for 500 pounds and sub 5.
Woo woo! Right, I have every 3 minutes on the minute, 500 meters for 3 sprints per round, then rest 3 minutes and then repeat that, and then 15-minute cool down run. So I'm going to get straight to it now. All right, so my turn. I did not have nearly as exciting a session. I had every 3 minutes on the minute, 500 meters, 3 minutes rest, and then it was meant to be that again, but I was blowing, so made it 3 by 400 meters. So slight deviation from the plan, but to be honest, I was feeling so much fatigue in my legs from my squats this morning, because I've never coped that well with higher intensity volume on deadlifts or squats. I can sort of go for ages in the lower percentage sort of rep ranges, and my top end strength has never really been that correlated with my reps. So before my best ever squat, which was 272.5, I'd only ever doubled 230, which, like, if you put it in a rep calculator would make no sense. So there was fatigue carried into this, but this 500 felt really, really solid. So this is the first one here, and I managed to get around 500 meters in 124, 125, we'll see at the end, which was really, really encouraging. They got slower, so I went 124, 133, 143 for the 500s, and then I actually did really, really well on the 400s, which I think goes back to what you were saying, and that I didn't use a warm-up properly enough, and maybe I had a little bit of adjustment to get ready for. So the 400s I went 110, 108, 109, which is really, really encouraging, and then just had a 15-minute cool down run to finish. But there we have it. That was our session and our training day. All right, so job done there, just heading back to the house. I think because I don't have a heart rate monitor strap, because my Garmin packed in, the heart rate data from my wrist isn't going to be reliable at that sort of intensity. So I'm just going to basically guess that that was around the 300 to 400 calorie mark. So I'm going to add that to my daily total I need to eat back. And I think our mum has cooked us something, so we can just stroll in, get a shower and eat, which will be nice, but we'll see you back at the house. Okay, last meal of the day, pork mince with some aubergine, pistachios and noodles. Very, very simple, but I'm conscious how long this video is going to get, so I'm going to leave it there. Calories, macros, end of the day, totals, etc. all on the screen somewhere. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a like and that you have subscribed below. Go follow Jamie on Instagram as well. I'll put his handle just here. See you next time.